Breaking: I did not lose 2023 election. Atiku hits back at presidency, clarifies position on economy. And now to the news in full. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has fired back at the Nigerian presidency over its response to its criticism of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic policy. Recall that Atiku on Sunday described the current administration's approach as trial and error and accused the government of running a palliative economy, arguing that implementing multiple reforms simultaneously would be overkill. Atiku had maintained that his administration would have adopted a gradual approach to subsidy removal, citing examples from Malaysia and Indonesia. The presidency quickly reacted, insisting that Atiku's idea lacked detail and were rejected by Nigerians in the 2023 polls. The special advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Sunday also warned that an Atiku-led administration would have plunged Nigeria into a worse situation or resulted in cronyism. The special advisor to the president on social media, Dada Olusegun, further dismissed Atiku's criticism. He said, "You weren't elected, Alaji. You can't even unite your party with only 13 governors. You can't provide proper leadership to be considered a serious opposition." Atiku is a member of the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP). The PDP is facing a crisis at the national level, which many commentators attribute to the fallout between Atiku and former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. The tension arose after the party's primary, where Atiku emerged as the presidential candidate for the 2023 election. In a statement on Monday, Atiku replied to the responses from the presidency. He said, "I have taken note of the initial responses highlighting the striking disparity between President Tinubu's faltering economic policies and the alternatives I have proposed." He said that his team devised a comprehensive recovery plan, welcoming input from Nigerians. Atiku also criticized the presidency's reliance on prayer, saying, "Prayer indeed serves as a noble path to follow, but the sacred text also counsels us to engage in diligent labor and hard work." He pointed out that under his economic stewardship between 1999 to 2003, Nigeria rose to the pinnacle of Africa's economies. Commenting on the 2023 election, where he lost to Tinubu, according to the results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Atiku said, "Let me emphasize that the citizens who cast their votes in the 2023 presidential elections are well aware that I did not lose. Rather, we find ourselves in this predicament because the election was criminally stolen from the Nigerian people." Yes, so it was stolen, but it was not you that won, Sha. It was Peter Obi that won. The statement posted on his official X handle read, "I have taken note of the initial responses highlighting the striking disparity between President Tinubu's faltering economic policies and the alternatives I have proposed. It is exciting to witness such a vigorous debate on these critical matters, and I sincerely hope that this course will ultimately benefit Nigerians and its citizens. Like many fellow Nigerians, I firmly believe that we find ourselves in this current economic turmoil due to Tinubu's administration's hasty ascent to power, devoid of coherent plan. In stark contrast, my team not only devised a comprehensive recovery plan but also welcomed significant input from Nigerians, ensuring that our approach was inclusive and well considered." Isn't it fascinating how the so-called tested Tinubu's administration's only policy response seemed to be a national prayer led by the First Lady and the NSA just a mere 24 hours after I proposed my alternative solution? What a bold strategy. In my humble interpretation of the scriptures, prayers indeed serves as a noble path to follow. However, the sacred text also counsels us to engage in diligent labor. It is therefore uncharitable for Tinubu's team to claim that my proposal remains untested. What remains unproven is the erratic trial and error nature of the policies so far implemented by this administration, which elucidates our present predicament. Let us not forget that under our economic stewardship between 1999 to 2003, Nigeria soared to the pinnacle of Africa's economy, while the administration has relegated us to a disheartening fourth position. The average GDP rate under the Obasanjo administration that I served in was 6.59% and peaked at 15% in 2002, 7.98% under the late Yar'Adua administration, and 4.8% under Jonathan, compared to the dismal 2.8% of the so-called tested Tinubu era. Enough of the pains of the shambolic Bolekaja economy policy prescriptions. We cannot hope to tax our way out of the economic quagmire wrought by these misguided experimental policies of a novice administration. Numerous nations such as United Arab Emirates, Qatar and Monaco, and EU territory with a zero-income tax policy, among many others, have emerged as economic powerhouses by fostering growth through lower taxation. Why then are we fixated on inflicting further hardship upon an already struggling populace? One can only speculate that Tinubu's government is anchored by a mere tea plan, which can only lead to a tipping. Furthermore, let me emphasize that the citizens who cast their votes in the 2023 presidential elections are well aware that I did not lose. Rather, we find ourselves in this predicament because the election was criminally stolen from the Nigerian people. It is we're having ideas, but we are not the presidential, so it's going to be difficult for them to put your idea into consideration. Timothy Olusoji says, presidency should learn to be quiet and focus. It is not to respond to criticism, especially when it is constructive. That one, they cannot overlook. They will always reply back. That Bayo Onanuga will always come back with a response. They cannot overlook anything. He will not. The present administration needs criticism in view of the hard policies initiated and implemented by it that led to hardship for the citizens. People are suffering and dying of hunger. This is a major setback for the administration and needs to be seriously addressed. The government needs to review its policies in order to rejuvenate where necessary. The incessant attitude of government officials responding to criticism clearly depicts the government as incapable of exercising restraint in the face of opposition. The message says, if you want new Nigeria, then be ready for hardship. Every new birth comes with pain from both mothers and fathers. All these Obi lies and Atiku gangsterism are nothing but nonsense. There is no way they will remove subsidy and will not lead to inflation. They removed it and it has led to inflation and problems are happening in the country. People cannot feed, people cannot eat. And you think that's the right decision to make? No. Even if it's the right decision to make, you should have put something in place that would help the citizens and not just remove subsidy and put everybody in hardship, and you think that is the right way to go. Saint Wolf says, irrespective of the fact two of them were laying claims of their victory, the fact remains that Tinubu did not win election. How could he have won when he lost Lagos, Abuja and Kano? Where did he get block votes to have won election? INEC knew how they appointed votes to them to get who won for them. Yes, so. Idris Adamu Yaya says, and how are we sure they cannot do you the same come 2027, Abi? They rigged their way in 2023. So what is the assurance that they will not do the same thing to you come 2027? My listeners, what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.